One of the central themes of this course is the discrepancy between prescriptive and descriptive grammar. This discrepancy challenges the reality of language versus the ideal boundaries of language. Both grammars confront the strict written guidelines that dictate the English language and their pertinence in modern reading and writing. Typically, an individual is likely to misuse the pronoun me and I, using me when the sentence calls for I or vice versa. This presentation delves into the enormous question, is prescriptive use of I in comparisons obsolete? There are strict grammar rules dictating which pronoun is correct in the sentence, my sister is older than I. However, if no one knows the correct answer and no one cares what the correct answer is, do we still have to abide by these rules? In our book, Language Myths, Myth 16 argues that you shouldn't say it is me because me is accusative. This myth goes on to explain that if English works the same way as Latin, then one would expect to say it is I, not it is me. English has evolved far from its roots in Latin. Many scholars currently believe it is unreasonable to model one language after a completely separate language, although there are people who believe ideally languages don't change. Furthermore, other languages derived originally from Latin do not follow these Latin rules any longer. We asked more than 20 people around the University of Maryland if they would say, my sister is younger than me, or my sister is younger than I in their everyday life.
Me. Anybody's or your brother. Would you say older than me or older than I? My sister's older than me.
My sister's older than me.
Okay. Do you know why you would say that?
No.
My sister's older than me. Wait. No, my sister's older than I don't know.
Okay.
My sister's older than me.
Do you think that's grammatically correct?
No, I know it's not.
I would say me, but I know it's not correct.
Okay.
My sister's older than me. My brother's older than me. I'd just say that.
I'd say.
My sister is older than I am, I guess.
Older than I.
Than me, no, because it's at the end of the sentence, so it's me.
Correct.
I am younger than my sister. That's what I would say.
So, what's the correct answer? A descriptive grammarian tends to acknowledge that different social groups may favor one expression over the correct expression in conversation. In the article, Why Only Some Grammar Rules Are Breakable by J.M. Hoffman, the author notes if 4 people who knock on a door in America are asked, who is it? They don't answer, it is only we. Instead, they would answer, it is only us. The people are not following the grammar rules, but society accepts the word choice as the norm. The author states that people in power make up rules and others tend to follow them. Dr. Edward Finian, a professor at the University of Southern California, also states that some people claim that linguistic right and wrong is decided by those who possess power. Society will follow the imposed rules when it comes to language, whether they are ultimately correct rules or not. The same theory can be followed in the book Developmental Mechanisms of Language, when Kim Sternly writes, a grammar of a given language is a theory of what is common and peculiar to any competent speaker of that language. The language follows the speaker does not follow the language. That is to say, if grammar is stretched slang, there is no specific origin because society continues to manipulate the language until they appease themselves. However, these words still hold meaning to the people who use them. Since descriptive grammarians find themselves evolving with the language, they would say my sister is younger than me. On the other hand, a prescriptive grammarian would say my sister is younger than I am. Prescriptive grammarians use classical grammar modeled after the Latin language. These people regard language as a form of cultural capital, meaning stigmatized forms are used by more social groups than by the educated middle class. Dr. Finian states that expressions appearing in dictionaries and grammars are not the only grammatical forms and may not be suitable for use in all circumstances. Furthermore, Sternly argues that a set of rules is formal if it can be determined whether and how to apply them without semantic information about the formulas to which they apply. In other words, the prescriptive rules are very rigid, with little to no room for argument. Any semantic importance threatens the deterioration of the rules. If the rules are also against interpretation and seeing that language constantly changes, are they really anything to live by? In order to support the research that we have presented, we conducted a small study. Creating a completely unbiased, random, and equal opportunity survey, we received 77 answers to the following question. In your everyday life, would you say, my sister is younger than me or I? 70 out of the 77 people, or 91% chose the first option, my sister is younger than me. When asked which of these options is grammatically correct, 42 out of 77 people, or 55%, chose the option, my sister is younger than me. The survey and the interview participants admitted to choosing an answer they believed was grammatically incorrect, following the norm, not the rules. Through research and data collection, we came to the conclusion that there is no correct answer as far as usage is concerned. The English language is indeed changing over time, as most living languages do. Descriptivists claim that it does not matter if the change is good or bad, but it is unavoidable. This very claim is seen in our research and the studies.